Okay, everyone, welcome back to DSP versus the Internet, episode 70. I hope that you will perhaps consider joining as a member to submit videos for, excuse me, to submit videos for the show. By the way, someone just said for the second week in a row their video didn't make the playlist. I explained to you, I responded directly to your video. Did you not see it? For this show, for clips to be submitted, they must be ranked not as adults only. And the clip that you have submitted is adults only on YouTube. So we can't even watch it. If we do, this stream will get flagged as adults only, completely demonetized, and blocked for anyone under the age of 18. That's why we can't watch it on the show. So be careful when you're submitting clips. I actually told you to submit 2 clips for next week, but don't submit a clip that's adults only. It actually goes, if you can believe it, as stupid as this sounds, it's the same for those that are kids videos. If a video is tagged as like a child's video for children only, also it does exactly the same thing on YouTube. So it's not just, you know, certain videos getting singled out. It's pretty dumb that YouTube does that. Okay, so my apologies to the person who said, man, my video didn't make the cut. That's why. I mean, I would like to watch it. The video apparently was, just so you guys know the subject matter of this video, apparently snipers took out a criminal that I guess he was at like a computer monitor or something, and the sniper was so good that he was actually able to like shoot through stuff or something. I don't know. But anyway, we can't watch it. It's considered adult content on YouTube. So I'm sorry for that. DL5FSE, please submit 2 clips for next week. I'd be more than happy to watch 2 submissions as long as they're not flagged just for adults only. Okay? Okay. Let's continue, shall we? Let's get into more Ultra member submissions. Here we go.
Right off the bat, David Gunnell, 2 N's, 2 L's, says, when you're recording in the cave, do you have an external mic on your phone? Because I do most of the recording of the cave on an iPhone. Or are you just using the phone's onboard mic? Any audio best practices you've discovered while recording? So this is actually an interesting story. The answer is no. When I'm recording myself, whenever...
Oh, he's got he's got a replica of the Iron Man suit from Iron Man 1. Oh, that's cool. That's the original Iron Man suit that Robert Downey Jr. builds in the movie. I like that.
The camera angle is not moving. That's me recording myself on the phone. Whenever the camera's moving, that's Joey, Josh, or Norm filming. And in those cases, when those guys are filming, I'm wearing a lav like I am now. So my audio is perfect. And a couple of years ago, DJI, I think they were the first ones to come out with this new type of microphone that a bunch of people make now, where it's 2 units, one's a transmitter, one's a receiver, but both are recording onto themselves. So even if the transmission to your camera didn't work, you could still get the audio file off the microphone unit. This is brilliant. And it's like,
that's interesting.
This is exactly the place in which technology and the miniaturization of technology yields better versions of products than we have ever had before. And this DJI mic is exactly that kind of product to me. And again, there are other people that make this type of thing now, but I think they were the first. And Norm brought the set in and dialed it into my camera phone and said, you know, go ahead and try this on the next build you do. And I did. Spent a day building something, and we put it up on the channel. And I watched it because I was just curious. I didn't have a specific point of view on whether or not this would work. I just thought, oh, this is great. A low threshold to entry recording solution that is easy for me to not have to think about. That is.
So let me guess, everyone complained. Everyone said, oh, it sounded like shit. It was probably too high fidelity, and it made it sound different than his normal videos, and everyone complained. So he's like, fuck it, I'll just go back to the old method. That's my guess. I haven't seen this video, but that's my guess. Let's see.
It really was my personal goal. But something happened when I watched the video, which was that I didn't like it. And I couldn't figure out why I didn't like it. The video was fine, the cutting was fine, the pacing, the subject, everything. But there was something about it. And I watched it again. I'm like, what is wrong with this video to me? And it took me 3 times to watch it to figure it out. It's that when I'm recording on the phone, I really am alone in this room. Yeah, I'm all by myself. And so you are who I'm talking to. And when I lean into the phone, one of those moments that Josh loves to do an extra close-up, when I lean into the phone, my voice, you hear my voice more clearly. The same way it would happen if I leaned over to you at a dinner party and said something off to the side. And when I was watching a video in which I was recording on my phone, alone in this room, but my audio was perfect no matter where I was in the room.
And it makes it feel not natural. If you're in a room with someone and you're having a conversation, but you're right in front of each other, it sounds good. If they're at the other end of the room, you hear the echo, you can't hear them as well. You lean in, they sound different. So what he's saying is actually having such good quality audio made it feel unnatural. You know what's funny about that? Back in the day when I used to do my videos with a camera pointed at the TV and the audio sounded like you're sitting in an echoey room, a lot of people actually were of the opinion that the audio that I did for my playthroughs was more natural than people who were doing direct capture at the time. Now listen, today everything's direct capture. Everyone's accepted it. That's the norm. But back then there was a lot of debate about what's the best way to deliver a gameplay experience on the internet. And a lot of people liked that when you watched my video, it sounded like you were sitting in a room next to your friend playing a game being played through speakers around you, as opposed to, oh, put on your headphones to hear this high fidelity direct capture, audio with a mic that has a pop guard and high quality and noise gates and things on it. A lot of people liked that natural sound and feel. And I can tell you right now, when we're watching on Retro Reacts that we do on my DSP Throwback channel every single Sunday night, we're doing one tonight, shameless plug, and I'm reacting to the old content, it sounds so different, but it sounds natural. It sounds real. It doesn't sound like, oh, here's everyone putting out a highly produced professional show for you of the utmost quality, right? Instead, it's just a couple of guys dicking around with games. So I get what he's saying. By having just the phone and not this professional thing, it seems like it's a more natural human experience. It's not overproduced. But a lot of the time on YouTube, that's what people are looking for these days. They want overproduction, you know? There's a different style. I totally get what he's saying.
Video itself lacked a little intimacy.
Mm-hmm.
That moment of hearing my voice get louder as I leaned into the phone made me, as a viewer of my content, feel more like I was in the room with me.
Right. He's literally echoing what I said.
Out of that. That doesn't change how I want to record with Joey, Josh, and Norm at all. Because I really do think of those videos as a slightly different genre than the ones I record of myself. And in here, it helped me understand that one of the things we're doing with these videos is building a little bit of intimacy. And that is a thing I would only have understood by exploring YouTube as a different modality of communication. It's different than television.
All right, I think we get the answer then, and I totally can. It resonates with me because it was a reason why I did that kind of content for so long. Quite honestly, I'm always the kind of guy who does it my way, but it was just such a movement to go direct capture, direct feed audio, microphone. In 2014, I had to change everything. If I didn't, I feel like that would have maybe been the end of my business because everyone was demanding that change at that time. But you know me, I don't go for the patterns. I don't go for the trends. I always kind of wanted to stay the way that I was. I had to change because it was demanded of me. Remember, I had people coming out saying I was a dinosaur and what am I doing? And I guess I don't care about the quality of my content. Couldn't have been further from the truth. I just liked the style of delivery that I had, but I guess it just couldn't last, you know? Today, you can't even do that. If I did a video like that, care, right? So, okay. Blood, the video game.
To hashtag blood.
So what is hashtag blood? Is it like a TV series? Let me see. Grab your backpack pencils and your favorite hockey stick because it's time to give everyone in Carpentersville a lesson in vampire slaying. It's now available on PS4 and it launched June 18th. I don't know what hashtag blood is. A cartoon about vampire slaying, I guess. You know what this art style reminds me of? Castle Crashers or Alien Hominid. That's what this art style reminds me of.
A video game about social media, awkward high school dances, and a world-ending vampire apocalypse. Assume the role of Becky Brewster, a freshman transfer student turned unwitting vampire slayer. Explore Carpentersville, a quaint town with a vast underbelly of evil looks and deadly.
Fairly Odd Parents? That's what it looks like? I've never seen Fairly Odd Parents, so I wouldn't know.
Got a crowbar? Use it to get around faster, accessing shortcuts through the sewers. You'll make many friends, but only one you count as your bestie. Say hello to my little Brenda. Get help from your crafty neighbor Corey to upgrade Brenda with special attachments. Use the umbrella as a shield. Stun enemies and parachute off ledges.
That's pretty neat.
Your way to hit.
It says, heads up, we've detected copywritten content. So apparently this trailer is copywritten content and I can't watch the rest of it. The game looks neat to me. Like, I actually think that looks decent. Like, obviously it's not a high-end, crazy, you know, over-the-top deluxe game or anything. But it looks like a style of game that could be fun for, like, an afternoon. I wonder how long it is. But it looks decent. Like I said, it reminds me of like a beat-em-up Castle Crashers. Only Castle Crashers was multiplayer. That one just looks like maybe it's single player. I'm not sure. I'd like to know, but I can't get to the end of the video to tell you. I wish I could see. All right, let's continue.
Worst dads in history. Where did famous rich man John D. Rockefeller get his business sense? Well, partially from his pop, William Doc Rockefeller Sr., con man and criminal. Doc made his money largely on land speculation, which he funded by claiming to be a doctor selling fake cure-all elixirs. He then loaned money to poor farmers at 12% interest, knowing that they'd default so he could take their farms. And he taught this ruthless business sense to his boys, even regularly cheating them in order to keep them sharp. Once, he even put young John up on a chair and asked him to jump into his arms and then just let him fall. Don't trust anyone, he said afterward. Not even me. And they shouldn't have. After William was indicted for raping a maid at gunpoint, he abandoned the family, leaving them penniless, and remarried under a false name. Young John, a teenager at this point, then employed his entrepreneurial streak to support the family, and he eventually became hugely successful. However, his empire of Standard Oil would go on to use underhanded tactics to expand, proving the apple didn't fall far from the tree. Subscribe for more historical parenting pitfalls, including more of the...
Wow, I didn't even know about that. I don't know anything about Rockefeller. All right, this next video, actually, I'm actually excited to watch. So here's the deal. I talked about this recently on my podcast over on DSP Gaming. So Maximillian dude, lifelong fighting game fan, known for making fighting game content, but other content, but mostly fighting game content on YouTube. Huge guy now, prominent in the FGC. A few years back, made an actual campaign to get Marvel vs. Capcom 2 to show up again on marketplaces because you can't buy the game right now. Like, you literally can't get it on any console. It's not available. It was available many years ago in a pretty bad version. The online play sucked. And then it got delisted and it was gone. So Max started this movement, free MvC2, hashtag free MvC2. I even talked about it in my content a few years ago, because I think it was a pretty good movement to try to get MvC2 back into the hands of consumers. It's a great game that's been lost to time. And I even said over the years, they are dumb. Capcom or whoever is in charge of these licenses are dumb for not taking a collection of all of the Versus games and selling it together. That, all those Versus games together would make money because they have history. There's hype behind them. There's nostalgia factor. It would do well. Right now, the only way you could play them is on Fightcade, which is a limited thing, emulation on PC. Not everyone has it. A lot of people don't want to use it. They say it's kind of wonky to get it to work. So, out of freaking nowhere, in the middle of a Nintendo Direct the other day, they announced that there will be an MvC2 collection being released. And so Max reacted to it, and this is his live reaction to it. All right, so I want to actually, we'll watch it from right here. Here we go.
Arcade games featuring Marvel and Capcom characters
Look at
are
his
finding
face.
their way onto Nintendo Switch as one collection. Flash and X-Men versus Street Fighter.
What's up?
duke it out in Marvel.
Why would you think this was going to be during the Nintendo Direct of all things, right? Being a huge fan of the Versus series, and this is a fucking Nintendo Direct. I'm not shocked he reacts like this at all.
Versus Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes. Take down the Kingpin in the beat-em-up side-scroller, the Punisher, and
Go back!
hit up training mode to polish your fighting.
Yeah,
skills.
training mode. That's great.
Select online mode to challenge rivals around the world. Or play co-op in the Punisher. You can also cross over to the museum to view artwork or listen to music from each game.
Yeah.
Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics launches on Nintendo Switch this year.
Fucking how? How? Is it only on Switch? What is happening? Mario Party! Well, sure, okay, thanks, Mario Party. What the fuck is happening? Is this only on Switch? Hold up, bro. Wait a minute. Go back.
In-game coins to get a star at half price when you're on flash sale. But act fast. Ride around and
I think I had a shirt similar to that at one point. That's the MvC character select screen, I think, that he has on his shirt there.
stay on track in Roll 40
No,
spaces
I'm
with a
done.
lucky roll.
I'm f***ing done.
You go head-to-head online in the Coupathlon.
I don't.
Compete against your rivals.
No way. Check Twitter.
That was the latest installment in the Mario Party series.
My
Super
brain
Mario
is
Party
fried.
Jamboree.
Yeah, Mario Party is cool, chat.
Minigames.
We literally
20-player online gameplay
tried to
and
get
more.
that shit to
Get
happen.
ready for the
Yeah.
biggest Mario
That was our
Party
free Marvel 2
series
campaign.
history.
That was the whole point. There's no way Marvel's back. There is no way. It's on all consoles and PCs. Shit, dude.
Yep.
Up and
7
throw a rock
games?
echo, for example.
Power.
All of
That's
them.
not all though. You can also
sorry.
create
I'm
echoes
sorry to
of
everybody
monsters. After doing
that's
so,
watching
they'll
this.
fight by
I'm
your
sorry.
side.
Dude, no, there's no gift subs on that, chat. We did not make Marvel gift subs because of how least likely it was possible.
Of the king-
They actually did it.
The thing is, like, I feel like eventually it was gonna happen, but who in the holy hell expected that was gonna happen during a fucking random Nintendo Direct? You would have thought, oh, that would have been during Summer Game Fest. That would have been during maybe the Xbox event. Of course, now we know it's not on Xbox, so there's a reason why it wasn't at the Xbox event. But I mean, that's just insane that they dropped it during Nintendo. I didn't know. I wasn't watching. I have no intention of watching that Nintendo Direct. I wouldn't have known that was going to be there. You know what I'm saying?
Took 3 years. It took 3 years. And everything from what I understood, it was impossible. It was not happening. I've already completely accepted the loss of, like, my favorite thing. I've already accepted that loss. I did it years ago.
Through the eyes of a
Oh, yeah, this is Stray. He's getting ported to Switch.
That it would never come back, that it's impossible.
family and friends. Explore alongside
So this is going to take a while for it to sink in eventually. What are the odds of Marvel 4 now? Dude, like, likely.
Not everyone is
If this shit can happen, this was like the bridge, you know? That was the whole point. If we want to get new Marvel, the whole point was that, well, people got to like the old ones. And the old ones you can't even buy. So let's do that first. That's the whole point.
The best way to build
I don't
a Hobbit community
fucking
is by
believe
hosting
this.
a dinner party with your homemade
Chat, go add it to your wish list, for God's
Plus,
sake.
Nah.
your neighbors for unique
Please.
decorations.
Oh, I didn't know you could add it to your wish list. I would have done that too. I want it on PC. If it plays on my mini PC, I'm absolutely playing it on my mini PC because that's going to be the optimal version. And you know, everyone, again, the FGC now, they've all converted to PC, so they're all going to be playing it on there. So that's definitely the version you want. Okay.
Anybody, it's on Steam right now. It's pinned.
Spray, no, I saw your super chat. I'm going to shout it out between parts. In fact, right after this video, we're going to split parts here. So, okay.
I can't. Just seeing these characters together again, dude. This is my favorite shit, chat. I feel like back in 2018, I like lost a loved one, dude. And like we did, I feel like I tried so hard and did everything I could within my power to do something about it. In like the late 2010s and the early 2020s, just everything. And I'm like, that's everything. I can't do anything else. Not within my power.
Nah, you know, he started a movement. It was all over social media. That hashtag was everywhere. And that's all on him. What really crushed it, and I don't know if he's going to mention it, was when Arcade 1-Up bought the rights to Marvel 2 to make that Arcade 1-Up cabinet of all the games. That's a piece of dog shit. It's got inferior controls, it's got a delayed display, and the online play to this day still doesn't work. So when a company had that right, the exclusivity to make those games, everyone thought, well, the licensing went to them. It sucks. There's no way we're going to get these anytime soon. And now it is. It's happening, which is pretty damned awesome.
No way. It feels like somebody just came back to life. No, Chad, I can't take credit for this, dude. I can't. That means a lot that people would do that. But to be real, everybody showed up during the Marvel 2 movement, right? During hashtag Free Marvel 2. And for the fucking Marvel 3 tournament and shit like that, like, people showed up so hard during that early portion of the pandemic. People showed up. The whole point of that stuff was to show that people care about MvC still. That was the whole point. Just to get the...
Well, obviously, I'm happy because, again, you know, these were the games that, like, I loved Street Fighter, but I didn't really start playing Street Fighter competitively until the Versus games came out. And, you know, I played casually. Actually, MvC 1 was the first game that I went to tournaments to play. I never entered a regular Street Fighter tournament unless I was there at a tournament to play a Versus game. Then I would enter Street Fighter as, like, a side tournament. Like, Super Turbo, I didn't get into until I was already playing Marvel vs. Capcom 1 and 2 in tournaments. It was like, oh, it's a side tournament, I'll enter it. And then I ended up learning Super Turbo out of that, right? Which is really cool. So, yeah, pretty awesome they're doing it. You got to wonder what really happened. Like, what really spurned it? Maybe they didn't really think there was demand for it. And then, you know, Max started the movement, and they saw that on social media, but they had already sold the rights to Arcade 1-Up, so they had to wait a year or two for those rights to expire, right? Maybe that's what it was. And then once those rights expired, then they realized they could do it. I just hope it's good, because if the collection is good and people have longevity in it, it means there'll be a revival of the Versus series, which I really would want. I love the Versus games, you know? Now, the thing is, I haven't played them in a zillion years. I'm going to suck. Basically, I have to, I'm going to have to play a lot to get back in line to be able to do anything in those games. It's been so long, but I love them. Like I said, when this comes out, I'm going to do, similar to what I did with that Street Fighter collection many, many years ago, I want to do a history of the Versus series. We literally go through all of the games. We go through X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, MvC 1, MvC 2. We play through the arcade modes with different teams in each one, and I show you how the games play and how they differentiate from each other. You know, taking on the boss and everything at the hard difficulty. And then trying them out online. The thing is, a lot of them, like Children of the Atom, it's a very rough around the edges game. It's not a very competitive game. It's kind of unbalanced. They didn't really get good competitively until X-Men vs. Street Fighter. I say Marvel Superheroes is good, but X-Men vs. Street Fighter is just a lot better. So I'd love to play like X-Men vs. Street Fighter, MvC 1, MvC 2 would be my focuses in this collection, and make a lot of content out of it. I'd love to play them and learn them again. It's been so long, but you have to understand there's going to be the tryhards who literally never gave up and have been playing on Fightcade nonstop for the last 15, 20 years, who probably going to be insanely good, and I'm not good anymore. You know, I'm starting from square one trying to relearn strategies and shit. You know, last time I played was literally when MvC was in that collection, what, over a decade ago? And that's the last time I touched MvC 1. I couldn't even tell you the last time I played MvC 2. I have no idea. So, pretty cool. And, I mean, Max is trying to be humble here, but in reality, he is the one who had the clout to start the movement. I don't think anyone else could have. He's the one. He is the face of the FGC, whether or not he realizes it or not. I don't know if he realizes it. He is. He's the biggest guy in the FGC, even though he's not like a pro tournament player. He's the guy people go to for FGC news. He's the guy they see as Mr. Nice Guy in the FGC. He's informed. He has level opinions. And when he has something to say about fighting games, people listen. So when he said free MvC2, the movement happened based on that. And, you know, he is responsible for this getting pushed, I feel. I think, like, he was the one who got that trending. He was the one who championed it all along. He's been a giant fan. Listen, I'm a humongous fan of the Versus games too, but I haven't even played them in so long. He's the kind of guy that's always in the community, always, you know what I'm saying, all about it. So, and he got everyone working on it, right? He did. He got everyone talking about it and everything. And he's a good guy from all reports. I never met him or anything, but he's a nice guy too. So, it worked out. I think he should get credit for it, quite frankly. I don't know why he would say it wasn't him. Of course it was. And I feel like when that viral movement started, they would have made this sooner if the Arcade1Up license hadn't been. And now that that expired or whatever, here we go. So that's great. Will there be an MvC4? I don't know about that. There is an MvC4. It's called MvC Infinite, and no one cared. It wasn't a good game. If they want a new MvC, they got to change everything. It can't be the same flashy one-hit instant winner bullshit that MvC3 and Infinite was. It has to be better than that. It has to be something different and advanced. Look at that thumbnail. It has to be better than that. You know what I mean? No one's going to care about MvC4 if it's just the same again, which is why MvC Infinite kind of failed, you know? So I don't know about MvC4. I also don't know if I'd be excited for MvC4 because I didn't like MvC3, but as a fan of these classic Versus games, this is super exciting. I cannot wait for it to come out. Yes, I'm going to get it. Whether it's on console or PC, I hope I can play it on my mini PC because I would love to make lots of content and play these games again at some kind of a competitive capacity. It would be good for variety rather than just Street Fighter 6 all day, right? So, all right, that was good. Whoever submitted that, thank you. We're now done with Ultra Submissions. We're going to go on to the Submissions tier, which is everyone in the randomized playlist coming up next. Thank you for watching DSP versus the Internet, episode 70. See you in the next part.